Girl Joe. This is my pug Joe, and I'm going to show you how I counter condition and desensitize her to having her feet touched. I have really small treats in my hand, like literally less than half the size of my fingernail, and I'm going to touch her paws and give a treat. Yes. Nice. Now I've actually taught Joe to give a paw, which is something you can train a dog to do, which may help with some of the foot sensitivity. Yes. Every time she allows me to touch her paw without an issue, I mark it by saying yes. You can also use a clicker, which I do as well, but I use words like yes, nice. I don't always use good girl, good boy, only because I say that to my dogs just generally. Joe? Yes. Here. Thank you. Nice. Now all I'm doing with the back legs is I'm holding a treat, and while she eats the treat, I touch her back paws. And I would work my way up to lifting up the feet. Joe? Joe is at the point where I can do that, but you would want to do several repetitions over the course of a couple of weeks of just touching the foot and rewarding. And start with the feet that he's not leery about. If your dog is more comfortable with you touching front feet, touch those first, and then work your way to the back. Down? Yes. Yes. Paw? Yes. And if you make your treats small enough, you can give lots of them without ever having to worry about getting them fat or overfeeding them. And it also depends on what kinds of treats. I use really high value treats. I don't use kibble for my dogs when I'm doing things like touch their paws, if that's an issue, because I need to have something more valuable than just their kibble to make it a positive and rewarding experience. And basically all I'm looking for, they don't have to love it, but I want them to tolerate it. If I have a dog that has serious issues with back feet, I do a lot of work on letting them be safe while I just touch their feet. I may do, 2 or 3 repetitions of touch and treat a couple of times a day, and I may do that for a couple of weeks before I even move on to can I pick your foot up. And then I would do a very short treat in hand, quick lift, let go. I might even just hold and let go before I move to picking the foot up so that I can counter condition and desensitize. Pugs are notorious for not liking their feet touched, and in particular for not liking nails trimmed. Most dogs are a little touchy about having their feet touched. This way. Yes. So I always reward any behavior that they offer me that is tolerant. And what I'm hoping to do is create in the dog a sense that this is not only not awful, but it might even be okay. And preferably, it might even be great. But you have to build that slowly, and you have to build trust with the dog. If it's a new dog in my house, I let them settle in 2 weeks minimum before I start doing any significant handling. If your concern is about muddy paws, I have something here at my door called a dirty dog doormat. I will move the camera closer so you can see what it is. It really is called a dirty dog doormat. It has lots of, thanks Joe, you're really helpful. It has tufts here, and as they walk across the door, it pretty much absorbs mud and wet. So I find that for most dogs easier than trying to do a toweling off of the feet. You can get them at lots of different pet stores. I think Global probably sells them. But it's called the Dirty Dog Doormat. Joe, come. Nice.